My name is James Sunshine. I'm the writer and director of Killing Mary Sue.
Awesome. So congratulations on Killing Mary Sue. It was such a fun watch. It's so comical.
Thank
Uh,
you.
where did the idea for this come from?
That's a great question. Um, the idea for the film really comes from the fact that I'm kind of just habitually online. I'm really into like meme culture and discussion forums and talking about movies and all of that. And I was looking for an idea to do my next film on. And I noticed that there's such a big like cultural zeitgeist, especially in meme culture and on the
Hmm.
internet, about the concept of a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
And usually when people talk about this, they talk about it as a pejorative. They talk about it as a negative. It's like a criticism of a film that there's a Mary Sue.
Hmm.
And the thing that I was interested in doing was I was like, well, what if I could take this concept and kind of turn it on its head? And what would it look like if somebody had a Mary Sue on purpose, you
Hmm.
know? And there was so much fun to be had with that and so many ways to explore that. And I was really, really excited about the idea.
Hmm. Your cast is incredible. What was the casting process like for this? And were you always looking for this cast, particular cast for this film?
The casting on this film actually has a very interesting story in that we actually shot this film right before the actors strike happened in
Wow.
2023. So yeah, I think the actors strike was in the first week of July, started
Hmm.
in the first week of July, and we shot this film over the course of 3 weeks at the end of June into July. And so the whole production came together very, very fast. And we wound up casting a lot of our actors and actresses very, very fast. Um, and it was kind of like the perfect intersection of us needing people and actors wanting to get work before the
Hmm.
strike happened. Everybody's looking to like pick up that last final paycheck, before they have to go into strike mode.
Yeah.
Um, and so we casted a wide net when it came to our casting process and had a lot of ideas. And really it came down to like who was available and who was interested and who was passionate about the project and who was really eager to get in one last gig before the strikes happened.
Wow, that's awesome. This having been only a 3 week shoot. Um, how was the training process like for the action scenes? Because there's some really funny action scenes that happen throughout the entire film.
Thank you. Yeah. Um, the action was interesting to shoot. It was my first time shooting action sequences as a director and working with stunt coordinators and stuntmen and all that. It was my first time. And, I wish I got to say that we had a lot of previs and a lot of
Mhm.
prep days and all of this, but the truth is the film came together so quickly that we kind of just threw things together on the day of. There's a big, you've seen it, there's a big shootout fight
Mhm.
scene in a warehouse at the end of the film. That was our one action sequence where the day before we had a day to do a walkthrough with the stunt team. But even that, it came together in like 2 days. And we had to shoot it all so quickly. My director of photography, John Sawyer, was really, really smart, really, really talented. He came up with some real run and gun ideas to
Mhm.
shoot the action sequences really fast. We had our gaffer basically hold a boom with a light on it, and we would just run and gun handheld. And so we didn't have to take 10, 20 minutes in between setups to set up lights. We just run here, shoot this, run here, shoot that. And some of our action scenes, we had to get in like 60, 70 shots in one day.
Wow.
And it's one of those things that in hindsight, it's surprising that it all came together as well as it did.
Definitely. For you as a director, how do you keep the pacing of this film? Because it seems that you have to slow it down at a certain point in order to get the right reactions between the action scenes. For you as a director, what inspired you to the pacing of this film for you?
Yeah, pacing is such a tricky thing to get right, especially in an action film, and especially in an action film where you want to connect emotionally with the characters. You need the highs of the action and the lulls to really connect with them. Um, I credit a lot of my ability to do that to a lot of the people around me and around this project who had their insight. I'm part of a really great writers group. I workshop every script that I write in my writers group, and they really help me to pick out, hey, this is working, hey, this is not working.
Mhm.
I had a really wonderful team of producers on this project, Jonathan Saker, Larry Layfield, our executive producer, Rosie. Great producers, great friends who read the script and offered great feedback. And, they had a lot of input on like, this needs to breathe, this needs to move faster. So, I'd love to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I just wrote it and it was great. But no,
Mhm.
it really was a team effort, especially when it comes to pacing and things like that.
With the writing process, since you are into meme culture,
Yeah.
what were some of the big memes that inspired some of these sequences?
Obviously, there's the Mary Sue meme. Um, there's that, what, that's a great question. Nobody's asked me that before. I threw in some Star Wars memes in
Mhm.
there. Like there's one line where Mary Sue Sierra McCormick, who is wonderful by the way in her role,
Hmm.
quotes Star Wars and goes, "I'll try spinning. That's a good trick." And that's a one that some real diehard meme fans are going to notice. Um, there's some great memes about like video games and
Hmm.
RPGs and about how, like level 1, save a kitten from a tree, level 100, kill God. And you
Hmm.
have to like level up all these things. Um, and I tried to do that in the film by making her antics and the craziness that she got into progressively weirder and stranger and more surreal as the project went on. Um, yeah, I don't know. The meme culture just permeates everything about this movie to where it's like when you're putting me on the spot like this, it's actually it's actually a little hard for me to like pull
Hmm.
them from memory specifically.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of video game references here. Are you a big video game fan?
Yeah, yeah, I am. I don't play as much as I used to. Life as an adult, you get a little too busy sometimes to really indulge in that stuff too much. But I do enjoy playing, and a lot of my childhood and upbringing and my foundations in storytelling and my love for storytelling is definitely based in like a lot of really classic, great video games from, Halo, Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto. Yeah.
When discussing some of these action scenes with your lead, were you referencing some of these video game type of or even with your director of photography in order to get the right feel for some of these action scenes, especially in the middle when you have the I can't remember their name,
The Steiners.
the Steiner team, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't feel like I really took a lot of influence from video games for the action sequences. I think it was more just other films.
Mhm.
I'm a big sucker for really well choreographed, highly stylized action sequences. Some of my favorite action films are obviously like John Wick and The Raid and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I took a lot of inspiration from them. Obviously, we didn't have the time, budget, resources to
Mhm.
do some of the stuff as crazy and cool as they did. But I'm proud of what we accomplished on a shoestring budget compared to that, and I think it came together well.
And to end it, there's a very nice twist to it. I don't want to spoil it, but
Yes, please don't.
that twist caught me off guard. I was not expecting it. Um, what was it like to write that twist into this, and how do you hide it so well in all everything that's happening in this, funny, complex story?
Okay, well, first I have to ask you because there's so many twists in this film. Which give me like a roughly like how far into the movie? Is it like an ending
Yeah,
twist or a midpoint twist?
it's the ending twist with McCormick. So,
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so sorry, can you remind me your question one more time
uh,
then?
how do you build up to it and hide it from the audience so well?
Oh, well, we hid it from hiding it from the audience was really, really easy because adding that twist in was actually one of the last rewrites of the whole
Oh.
script. I talked about how great my team of producers and filmmaker friends and everybody on that was in this, and so I had the whole script ready, and everybody really enjoyed it and really liked it. But a lot of people were coming to me and saying, "Hey, this needs one final little nugget there at the end to make things make sense." And so the twist was actually written somewhat retroactively. There were certain elements to the film that people enjoyed but found a little unsatisfying and not
Mhm.
well enough explained. So it really all came down to trying to brainstorm and find that one little last twist, plot element, whatever you want to call it, that can kind of come in and just justify everything. And I think we found the perfect thing. Although part of me would have liked to leave everything unexplained too, because that would be fun in its own right. But yeah,
Definitely. Is there a sequence in this film that you're most proud of?
that's a great question. I really like that
Mhm.
question. Because my favorite scene and my favorite sequence in this film is not what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be one of the shootouts or one of the montages or something like that. And the scene that grabs me the most every time I watch my film is about 35, 40 minutes in, and it's when the family is in Mary Sue's bedroom,
Mm, okay.
brainstorming how they're going to fight back against the assassins that have
Hmm.
just taken them, and the lights are out and everything. And the reason I love that sequence so much is it's because it's just people standing and talking,
Hmm.
which is usually so hard to do. But everybody in that scene has such a strong perspective and a strong objective, and the performances are acted so well that I've found every time I rewatch the film that that scene grabs me just as much as any of the action scenes or any of the violence or any of the twists or anything.
Hmm.
But it had so much less going for it that you wouldn't expect it to be as good. But I think it is. So anybody who's watching this interview and going to go see the film, keep an eye out for that scene, and I'd love to hear what people think about it.
Definitely. And the final question, you left a great opening for a sequel. Is there any thoughts into making this into a franchise or, expanding upon this universe that you already created?
Yeah, I would love nothing more than to get a sequel to this film. But what they say, you gotta walk before you can run.
Hmm.
So right now I'm focused on getting the film out. It's releasing this summer, June 13th. We're going to be in the Los Angeles Film Festival next month. We won Best Actor, Best Actress. We're nominated for Best Picture. It's really, really cool. I'm really excited. So, and I also don't want to get too excited about sequels and all that. So right now I'm focused on making the release of the film as good as it can be and making sure as many people see it, and we'll see what the future holds from there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. It's such a fun watch. And, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.